Hi, I'm Bonnie Barker with BonnieBabeCrochet.com, and this is video number 3 on the pillow in the Divine Textured Throw and Pillow series. Okay, let me go ahead and start and show you the pillow form. I went ahead and bought a 12-inch pillow form from my local fabric store, and I also bought some fabric that would match the yarn that I chose. Now this doesn't match exactly, but it is dark enough. It is good enough for what I'm going to do. And what you want to do is you want to find some fabric that will cover just the stark white color of the pillow. If you choose not to do that, that's fine. But what's going to happen is you're going to have very bright white shining through all these holes. If I can show you all these holes that you see here. If you don't cover it with a dark fabric that's a similar color, it doesn't have to be exact, it's going to give you quite a lot of contrast. And I personally don't enjoy that. So that's why I went ahead and bought some fabric. I simply cut it to match the pillow. I gave myself about a 3/4, actually about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then sewed around two sides. Folded it in and sewed in this side. I am far from being a master seamstress by any stretch of the imagination, and this is a pretty simple thing to do. If you don't have a sewing machine, it'd be easy to just sew this by hand. Just make sure you give yourself a good enough seam allowance. But at any rate, even if the seaming is not perfect, mine's certainly not perfect, it's not going to matter because it's going to be totally covered up by your yarn. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started in putting these pieces together for our pillow. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of our squares. We're going to put the wrong sides facing, and we're going to have the right sides facing outward, just like so. I have them going kind of the same direction. You can do whatever you'd like because they are square on both sides. And just to review, I've measured these, and without being stretched, each panel is 11.5 inches both directions. So that's a pretty good size for a pillow. It will stretch slightly, which is actually going to be good. That way, the design won't look floppy or anything like that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a corner, and it's any corner, doesn't matter, any chain 2 corner, and I'm going to go through both like so, and I'm going to join my yarn like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to be working the knurl or the reverse single crochet. I'm going to be working from left to right if you're right-handed, and it would be from right to left if you're watching the left-hand version of this video. Okay, so I'm going to begin in the very next stitch. I'm going to, and this is kind of hard to see. Let's see if I can give you the best visibility possible. I'm going to go through both loops. Okay, this is different from what we've been doing. Let me show you. I've worked through both loops of both pieces. So you're really going through 4 loops here instead of just the one like you did working the knurl here. And we're going to just do the reverse single crochet all the way across, and you're going to go into the corners. You're going to do this around 3 sides. Let me just kind of put this so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to show you there. Again, you're going through 4. You're going through both loops of both single crochets that were the border. Okay. Now, if you don't like this stitch, if this is just posing too much of a problem, you can try something else like I don't know, a slip stitch or something. But honestly, I think the knurl is what really looks the best. So I'm going to do this all the way across to the corner, and I'll show you how I make that turn. Okay, I'm continuing across, and I've come to the turn right here. And I'm happy to say that the stitches are working out, which is a good thing. That means that I was accurate in doing 35 stitches along every edge. If you've done that, for all your squares, I promise you, putting this thing together is going to be a joy. It's going to be a lot easier than you would think. Now I've come to the corner, and I'm just going to put the stitch or the hook straight into that hole there that's formed by the corner. Now I'm going to turn, and I'm going to work along the straight edge, and I just continue the knurl pattern. Okay, I'm taking it nice and slow. I'm not trying to win a race here, because I want to make sure that each stitch lines up very well. Okay, now if by chance the stitches don't line up perfectly, don't fret. Honestly, I've had that problem too occasionally, and if that happens, all you need to do is you can put your hook in the same stitch that you just did, and go to the next one to try to even things out. I promise you, nobody will know this. I probably wouldn't even be able to recognize it, and I've done a number of times, and it's not a big deal, and it'll probably work its way out. Especially once you put that pillow in, the stitches are going to be slightly stretched anyway, so so don't worry if it's not perfect. Nothing that I ever make is ever totally perfect. We are, after all, human. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish this side, and I'll show you the next corner. Okay, this brings us to our second corner, and I just wanted to show you something here, because this could be a little confusing with this strand here. Now, there is a strand that I did not hide yet, so I'm actually going to pause, and I'm actually going to go ahead and get my needle so I can hide this strand so that it doesn't get in the way. Okay, now that I have my yarn needle, this is probably something I should have done sooner, but I honestly didn't think about it. So let's go ahead and do it now. This is just a kind of a crash course in how to hide these loose strands. Now I'm going to be working with the back side facing here. I'm just going to run this needle down. Whoops, if I can get it in there, like so. And the goal here is just to hide it. So, and there's no rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. I'm just trying to make sure that the strand is hidden, and hidden well, so it doesn't pop out or show again. Okay, so I've done that. I've run it under some stitches. I'm going to go ahead and clip it. I kind of warn you against trying to just, stuff it down, below into the pillow area somewhere, because honestly, it will show. I've actually done that, and then, that little strand can just kind of, float around in there and be a little bit of a nuisance. So let's go ahead and resume our crocheting. We have 2 stitches, and then the corner. There's 1 and 2, and then now we have the corner chain, right, like so. Okay, now that I've gone around 3 sides, I'm going to go ahead and insert my pillow. Okay, now that my pillow is nice and inserted in here, I'm going to just simply work the last row right across here to close this. Now this might be a little more awkward because you're going to have to hold it tight, and if you want it to, you can even stuff that pillow in further than necessary, and then fluff it out later. Okay, now I am simply going to work the knurl stitch across the one last side. Okay, just continuing on. This I understand is going to be a little more challenging because the rows are a bit pulled apart because you're trying to close up the pillow here. But just take your time in doing that. I'm going to go ahead and finish this row, and I'll show you my completed project. Okay, before I finish up this side, I wanted to show you that there is another strand from where I joined the yarn at the beginning, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hide this as best as I can on the wrong side before this pillow is finally sewn shut forever. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I just wanted to show you, I'm just going to bring this down into some of the stitches here. Okay, and then just give it a little clip so I don't have to worry about how in the world am I going to hide this at the end. I'm going to have to hide one stitch, but or one strand rather, but but that won't be too difficult. And I will show you how to do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to close up this section and I will show you how to finish off. Okay, I've just worked my last reverse single crochet in the turning chain, and that brings us to our first one here, our first knurl that we worked at the beginning of the round. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply do a reverse slip stitch, just like so. Give it a nice little tug. I'm going to do one chain, pull it tight. I'm going to fasten off, leaving a nice long strand here. Okay, now I'm going to use my yarn needle again. I love this little thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply run it under a couple of the stitches here. Okay, now I'm going to go down and run it under a couple of these stitches, which was the under these stitches here. I'm sorry, I keep dipping below the camera. And then I'm going to run it into some of the work just around here. Okay, and this should be plenty enough to hide this. Give it a little clip. Now make sure that you only trimming the strand and not some of your sweet stitches there. Okay, I'm going to give that a little tug. Give it a little tug, and you can't even see where I've hidden that. All right, so now all I need to do is just kind of fluff the pillow a little bit and kind of, even it out, and there you have it. You have at least one pillow. Let me speak just a minute about the fabric that I use to hide. Now it's going to look kind of strange in the lighting of the video, but honestly, if sitting in a room, you don't even see what the color is coming through, but you know that it's not white. It mostly causes kind of a dark shadow, kind of like that. When I was at the fabric store, I was able to buy just half a yard in order to cover the pillow, and I still have enough left over for another pillow. So should I want to make two, 1/2 yard is all I needed for this to cover one pillow. And again, like I said, it will be plenty for a second pillow should I decide to add one. All right, well, I hope this was helpful to you. And look for me in video number 4 where we will start piecing the throw together, should you be interested in that. Okay, well, God bless. Bye-bye.